like her character, and I think she's realistic and whatever. But to me, it was interesting that after finding out, Andre or whatever is married, that like she would still reach out to him.
I think it was really odd to me. Like, it's one thing to sleep with a married man when first she didn't know he was married. Fine. Then you find out he's married. And you've seen his wife, like, spoken to her, seen her face. Yeah. She's a fan of your show, and you still have no sympathy for her whatsoever. I really don't get it. Like,
I think the issue of selfishness definitely comes into play because after a while, it's about you and what you need and what you're trying to accomplish for yourself. And because she's so driven in her career, she kind of like is kind of placing that same career drive in her relationship drive, and it's like no boundaries when there's clearly like a marital boundary that you're continuously crossing.
I don't think he loves her. I don't get that impression from him at all. No, Mary Jane.
Oh.
I don't get that impression at all. It's just something. I feel like she's just something to do. Like, and I feel like he proposed to her. He said he was gonna propose to her beforehand, whatever. I feel like he proposed to her because he knew she was on the fence at this point. Like, okay, you're about to leave. Let me come up with this ring.
Keep you around.
I have this disposable income. I'm making money now. What I thought, man, when she said, and when Mary Jane's mother said that, these women don't want to cultivate a man.
Yeah.
They just come in after he's already been groomed and prepped and ready, and then they swoop in like, okay, now I'll take you. And it's interesting, like, would Mary Jane have even looked at him before he has what he has now?
Yeah. But to me, it's also messed up. If you do cultivate that man, then like she said, like, I built you. Avery told him, I built you. And then you go step out. And like, now I got to be a single mother with kids and stuff like that. So it's almost like, do you want to put in that work for him to go get somebody else later?
I mean, but if you're thinking you're in a marriage,
why do I have to build a man anyway?
Well, no,
I
think she probably more at cultivating, meaning as he was starting from the bottom and trying to get up there, she was there. Not necessarily that it was, I bought you these clothes, I drove you to your first job, I'm in that kind of sense. I helped you, and I helped you with, to get yourself more refined, that kind of thing. That doesn't take that much compared to but when you feel like you've been there and you've been in the support system and then that person goes out, it's like, well, dang.
Isn't that what always happens?
They
always are like,
TV,
only
no.
But even
men are only as faithful as their options. No, not TV. I'm talking about real life.
Real life. That happens all the time. So many women do buy people clothes, or they do cultivate them in some
paying their way through law school or something.
Okay, and then next thing you know, you're preparing them. You're preparing them for ultimately the next woman, and that's why I remember my mom telling me in college don't do too much for a guy because you might just be preparing him for the next person he might meet after college, So
I mean, but if you're married though, why would you not invest?
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always interesting to me though, because people are like, don't do that for no man. Don't what you doing in my church is like, what you doing cooking meals for a man? It's like sometimes that's in people's, that's their way of showing people that you care. I think you shouldn't hold back because you're like, you're going to run out anyway. Because then every relationship would just be like a hot mess. Like, I don't trust you. I ain't going to do nothing for you because you're never going to be around. You're going to leave me when you get your first dollar and your first dime. So you might as well just, so everything is a risk. Every relationship is really a risk. And so, that was what happened. But it doesn't happen for everybody.
Like, whenever I'm watching, I always feel like this is almost too real for Gabrielle Union and her real life. Just, the cheating and stuff like that. To me, I'm like, those are probably real tears, sometimes. And even with her relationship, how she's kind of taking the blame for why D-Wade stepped out.
But I feel like there's a lesson to be learned in everything, but you don't have to blame yourself for what went down in it. It's like, well, maybe I'll try to be more aware of what's going on
but that's still your
next
fault.
time. But instead of being like, it was me, we weren't really, it was you just know what it, but don't have to tell the world oh, we were both being needy and I really wasn't seeing that this is what's needed and that's
but
why.
What did you do after that neediness?
Nothing. You went to work.
You went to work.
Right. He went and screwed somebody else without a condom and had a baby.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day. We were talking about how we just don't understand how these men with so much to lose can be so reckless when it comes to their sex lives. And Danielle was like, we don't even discuss it anymore. It's over. It's done. You'll never be a man. You'll never understand how a man is. You'll never understand how important sex is to a man. So why are we even discussing it? Yeah. I'm like, I guess that's true because I just don't get it. I don't understand how you have a crazy baby mama already. You have so much money to lose. You have your reputation. I guess your reputation, whatever, to lose, and you still go out. And then your life, like, if it wasn't a child, it could have been STD. Like, you saw Magic Johnson and how he had to leave the NBA because of HIV. So why would you be out here just raw dogging? And then you have this woman who you want to marry.
And that's
no one has really been like in Dwyane's face, like, hey, what's going on?
Exactly.
But the paparazzi's harassing Gabrielle, like, are you ready to be a stepmom? And she just has to take all that.
Exactly.
When she didn't do anything.
Right. And where is he? Like, I know.
Are you sorry at the White House?
Like, I know she's doing her rounds for the show, but it is like everywhere. Like, he made his little statement, like, a blessing came out of this. I had to shut it down.